Hi everyone and welcome back to this tutorial. As you remember, on our last lesson we imported our AutoCAD drawing to Photoshop. On this video we will add a background to our drawing as well as some textures. But first of all, let's start by erasing our scales reference from our base drawing layer, as we already have them in the CAD drawing layer. So let's go select them and erase them. Okay, now we're going to use this image file as a background, so we're going to select it all, copy it, and paste it into our drawing. Again, let us arrange a little bit our layers. So we're going to make a folder for our background. Rename this as background. Now let's move it, the folder beneath the base drawing. And now we're going to do some adjustments to our image. So we're going to change the image size, and for that we're going to image canvas size, and we're going to make the image a little bit bigger on this left side so we can appreciate more of the background. So we're going to set the anchor point here and tell the new width will be, instead of 33 centimeters, 40 centimeters. And we just have to adjust this white background. Okay, and now we can start working and adjust our background image. First of all, we're going to flip it horizontal, so edit, transform, flip horizontal. And what we want of our image are mainly two things. First, we want the horizon line to be somewhere here at this level, and second is to have the sun on this left top corner. So by using the free transform tool, you can access to by Ctrl T, we are going to change the size of our image, trying to make it fit and adjust to what we want. The reason we are making this adjustment to the picture is not just only to fill the background, but in terms of composition, we want our final image to look more complete. For that, we are positioning the sun on the left top corner, and if you look at the shape of the building, you will notice how the open facade to the left side gives this impression of a very lighted and open space. So by putting the sun at that side, this perception is being reinforced, given the feeling that the sunlight is entering the building through that side. So now we make just a final adjustment. Okay, this seems fine for the moment. Now, to let us see more easily what is the background and what's our building, what we're gonna do is to fill the interior of our building with a solid color. So we click on the base drawing layer, we select the outside of the building, this part as well, and select inverse. We create a new layer, move it down, and let's just use this gray color and fill the interior. Okay, now remember as fill color. Okay, so you can see this way is easier to appreciate what is going to be actually our background. The next step is to frame a little bit more our building, and to do that we're going to add one mountain over here. Let's use this image. I have this image already cropped out, so it's going to be way faster. We select it, copy. Now we're going to paste it on top of the background layer. Okay, so we have to change its side, move it a little bit to the right. Okay, more to the right, maybe make it a little bit bigger, move it more to the upper part. Okay, something like this. Okay, that looks good. Now what we're going to do is to adjust the colors of this new mountain to look alike as the background beneath it. So auto color, that's it, and let's name it mountain. Okay. Maybe we can move it a little bit more to the left over here. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, now as part of the project, we have this room over here with an underwater view, and our building goes lower the sea level. We are going to create the illusion that the image of the background has also took a view underneath the water. So let's select this area over here. And well, we're not going to select it with a straight line. We're going to make it more an irregular line, just to give more an effect of we're cutting the water, to say it somehow. Okay. And there it is. Now create a new layer, underwater, and we're going to fill the selection also with a solid color. Okay. Now we're going to duplicate this layer, and we're going to change its color saturation. We're going to leave it as a gray color just to give it more depth. So we will lower the saturation and also a little bit the lightness. Now, as we have this underwater layer with the blue color on top, we're going to change its blending mode from normal to overlay. And again, we're going to duplicate this layer. We're going to set it to normal, and we're going to change the fill color from this dark blue. We select the pixels, and we're going to change it from a dark blue to a more lighter blue. And we fill it. But now we are going to change its blending mode to color. And now what we have to do is to change with the opacity parameters. For example, here on this dark blue, we're going to lower the opacity. And we're going to also lower a little bit this one. Okay. Now before continue working on this underwater part, we're going to create also a new folder, because we're going to add more layers for this area. So underwater, let's put all these layers inside of it, and we're going to create a new layer, which we are going to call light reflection. And on this layer, what we're going to do is to draw just one line. We're going to pick this color and we're going to draw a line as it's the pretty thin edge of the water. As you can see, I'm not drawing a perfect straight line or a continuous line, because later we're going to add some filters to it, and we're going to distort it and use it to create lighting effects underneath the water. Now what we're gonna do is use blur a Gaussian blur filter to blur a little bit the edges. Okay, and second will be to use a radial blur. Yes, we're going to use the zoom method. We set it on best, and we are going to lower the amount to 20. Okay. Now we have our light passing through the water, but this still needs some more layers that we're going to add, as well as more shadows and more elements that are going to help us give more depth to this area, as well to finish the composition of our final render. On our next video, we will continue working on adding textures to our background and building. So thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for our next lesson.